Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss an important long answer question. The question is, what is ERD and what are the symbols used in ERD? Or maybe asking an alternative like this one, what are the components of ERD? Or explain entity relationship modeling. Whatever should we go in alternative way, we'll asking like this one as a long answer question in the final examination. Okay, don't be confused. Right. So first we know that what is mean by entity. What is mean by entity? Simply an entity is nothing but either a person or a place or a object or any event or any concept in the user environment. So about which an organizations to maintain the data. So generally, for example, we have taken as a person is entity type. Then what become as an entity is, so employee is an entity or a student is an entity. For example, we have taken as an entity type as a place. Okay, so water become as an entity is either storehouse or any library. For example, we have taken as an entity type is the object. Okay, so water becomes as an entity, either object is a computer or become as a book. Okay, these are the different types of entities we need to manage into a database management system in a relational model. Okay, right, these are the entity relationship model is a graphical representation of entity relationship model is a graphical representations of an entities, so attributes and relationships. This model becomes a very popular because it is easier to understand the database graphically than text. Here Peterson first introduced this ERD data model in year of 1976. ERD stands for what? Entity relationship diagrams. For example, we need to creating any relationship that should be presented through graphically. So we need to depends on entity relationship diagrams. Okay, the ER models is based on the following components. What are the following components? This is first point. The entity name is a noun. Okay, and is generally written in capital letters. That's mandatory. We need not write in a small letters. Entities always should be write within the capital letters, and is written in the singular form. Okay, need not write in a multiple form, or which is only should be write in a singular form. An entity is represented in the ERD by a rectangle. Entity is always represented by using what are the symbol? Rectangle symbol. The second point, an attribute is represented by, attribute is always represented by what is the symbol? Ellipse symbol. Okay, important point, keep it in your mind. What is that? So attribute is always represented by an ellipse symbol. The third point, relationships describes associations among data. So is always associating with the relational any data. Connectivity indicates the relationship types. The name of the relationship usually is a verb and is an lowercase. Relationship is represented by diamond. Here important point, keep it in your mind. What is that? Relationship representations is always used by the symbol. What is that? Diamond symbol. Okay, these are the different symbols, very important, keep it in your mind. Rectangle is always represented in the purpose of what is that? Entity diagram. Okay, ellipse symbol is always represented for attributes, and diamond symbol is always represented for relationships. Okay, entity relationship diagrams are represented in the following. What is that? ERD is a graphical representations of an entity relationship model. This includes the different components of ERD like attributes, relationships, and entities. Using different symbols are there. Following are the different ERD symbols. The symbols are shown below here. What is that? Basic symbols. Okay, in the first box, graphical representations belongs to basic symbols in entity relationship diagram. First one, what is that? Strong entity. Strong entity is nothing but in the tabular format. Whenever we are going to managing the database, what are the strong entity? Strong entity is nothing but the particular entity need not depends on any another entity. Such type of entity is called as a strong entity. So in a tables, what are the column is specified by strong entity? So for example, we have taken a student table. In the student table, number of columns presented here. What is that? Student number, either name or marks or mobile number or any class courses. Okay, whatever thing. So in this column, which is a strong entity? Student number is a strong entity because of student number need not depends on any another column. Okay, another entity. So that's why student number column is a strong entity, right? So basically, more example about strong entity. For example, we did not properly accessible a data. Okay, properly not accessible a data. On the time we need to depend on a particular column. What is that? Student number column. For example, more than students having a same name. Okay, more than students having a same group and same marks is there. So on the time, for example, we are getting what is that? Who's having a Ravi name in a particular table. Okay, so is it possible? Proper candidate need not possible because of multiple candidates that can be possibility in the table, same name with the same name. Okay, that's why. So we need to depends on what is that? Student number. So multiple numbers. Okay, the same numbers is not assigned to multiple members. That's why student number is a strong entity in a student table. What is a weak entity? Weak entity diagram represented double rectangle symbol. Okay, double rectangle symbol. What is mean by weak entity is nothing but one entity depends on another entity. It should be called as a weak entity. So for example, in a student table, which column is in a weak entity? Is nothing but except student number, all the columns are weak entity because of, so already told you just now, what is that? Multiple names in a student table that can be possible. Okay, so on the time we need not possibility accessing proper data. So that's why what is that? We need to depends on strong entity. But except student number, student name, what is that? Marks or any mobile numbers or anything. So all the data comes under what is that? Weak entity. Next one, relationship. Relationship diagram represented by using what is the symbol? Diamond symbol. Okay. So relationship is used for always to connecting multiple tables. So in this way, at least we need to creating more than one table, either two table or three table, thousands of tables that can be possible to creating. But each and every multiple tables to creating a relationship. So why we need to using the relationship? So whenever we cannot accessible the proper data by using a single table, on the time we need to creating a relationship in between multiple tables. Okay, so this diagram represented by using relationship symbol. What is that? Diamond symbol. The next identifying relationship. Identifying relationship diagram represented by what is that? Double diamond symbol. Okay, in this way, particular data we need to identify from the relationship in between multiple tables. We need to using such type of graphical symbol. And one more, associative entity. Associative entity is represented by using the symbol. What is that? So diamond symbol internally of the rectangle. Okay, so such type of relationship, associative entity relationship. And attribute is always represented. What is that? Here ellipse symbol. So attributes is nothing but what are the columns represented, that is an attribute. So multi-valued attributes in a student table, what are those? For example, in a student table, language column is a multiple attribute because of in a particular column a candidates are having a multiple values. For example, a student can speak multiple languages is there. So what is that? Either Telugu or Hindi or English, whatever thing. So a single candidate that can be possible to speak multiple values. That's why such type of representations in a multi-valued attribute. Multi-valued attributes symbol represented with a double ellipse symbol. The last one, derived attribute. Derived attributes are represented with a what is that? Ellipse symbol with the dots. Okay, so this is a derived attribute symbol is also similar to what is that? Attributes and multi-valued attribute symbol. And these are the belongs to what is the basic symbols in ERD. Coming to the relationships in ERD. For example, we need to creating a relationship in between multiple tables. So for that, we need to creating different types of relationships graphically. So in this way, first graphical symbol, what is that? Unary relationship. Combinations of multiple table relationship comes under represented by using this symbol, unary relationship. The next one, for example, we need to creating only two tables representations. What is that? For that we are going to use what is the relation? What is the diagram? binary relationship, which is called as a binary relationship diagram, is used for to creating more than one table relationship. And a ternary relationship that can be represented on the different multiple ways we need to creating the relationship. For that we are going to use the graphical symbol. What is that? Ternary relationship. These are the different types of entity relationship diagrams. Okay, comes under to managing the relationship in a database management system. Okay, this is very important question in the final examination as a long answer. Okay, is it understand? So in the next important questions will be discussed in the next session. So thank you all of you.